Hello everyone, and welcome to part 2 of Liquid Tinsel. And today we're going to make mulled cider. Although I've had some feedback from the first one we did, where apparently some people said that they don't drink wine. So there must be something wrong with them for a start, you know. Never trust a person that refuses a glass of wine in the hope of maybe getting something better. But yes, so what I will do is I will do a part 3 and I'll do some mulled ale for all the people out there that don't like the taste of wine. And you know who you are. So you do. But anyway, that's fine, it's not a problem. I'm quite actually interested in doing it myself because I actually haven't. I've got a different idea of doing it. I've done it. I've done it in the past in a more modern way with the kind of spiced or mulled kind of ale, but I want to do a more kind of historical traditional version, which I haven't done. So it'll be interesting to see if that turns out actually drinkable or is it just a load of piss. So we'll find out. But today we're going to do some mulled cider. Now mulled cider is different from the mulled wine, so it is. So the ingredients are kind of similar, but there's also some additional ingredients. And obviously, depending on how you buy your cider will depend on, there might be some additional steps or not. Now this recipe is set up to cover 1 litre of cider. Unfortunately, it's the case as though I decided to go for a better cider. Well, let's be totally honest, I was in Aldi and there wasn't really much option for kind of half decent cider. So the only cider I could really go for was Weston's and Sons vintage cider, which is fine, not a problem. Unfortunately, it did come in 750ml bottles, so I'm going to have to measure it out, which of course means I need a set of scales. So that's an extra part of the process, but obviously if you were buying them in 500ml cans or bottles, then it would just be 2 of them chucked in the pot, so not such a big problem. Also we have whiskey, because it will obviously require some shots of whiskey. Now some people will put the shots actually directly in the glass, which I don't like. I prefer putting them in, do a couple at a time into the actual grog itself, into the actual kind of pot, and see how it goes that way and just adjust to taste. So it could be anything depending what your own taste is. It can be like 2 shots, which is 50ml. Could be 4 shots, 100ml. It just depends on the whiskey you're using, the type of flavour. Now, I'm using White Mackay. The reason why I'm using White Mackay is because it's got more of a kind of a sweeter kind of sherry cask kind of flavour to it. So again, it works in better. Now also with the cider, because there's a little bit more kind of acidity to it, then of course we've got more brown sugar, so it's 5 tablespoons, whereas the mulled one is only 4 tablespoons. And again, I've gone for the brown sugar because again, it's not as sweet and it adds a little bit more extra kind of, je ne sais quoi, a little bit more extra flavour. Now, I've never used this before, so it'll be interesting to see. So I'm using Natural Noble mulled cider spices. Now this is just an individual pack, so it comes like that. It's all kind of loose and things like that. So hence why I've got this, just in case I need to strain it. So that's why I've got that. But apparently, this is allspice. But one of the major things is with mulled cider over mulled wine, the kind of ground cinnamon, the cinnamon flavour in mulled wine is the kind of dominant kind of spice, as well as a bit of citrus and things like that. But that's the kind of main kind of spice that you get with mulled wine. Whereas with the vintage cider, it should be ground ginger. So I've got some extra ground ginger, I've got some extra ground cinnamon, and I've got some extra ground mixed spice, or sometimes known as allspice. So this already has allspice, dry orange peel, sweet cinnamon, cloves, star anise, nutmeg, and it doesn't seem to mention ground ginger. which is a bit worrying. It also apparently has got potential, what do you call it, allergens of dairy, gluten, nuts and sesame seed. There you go. And yeah, apparently this doesn't go out of date until January 27. There you go. Eh? And apparently it makes 1 litre of cider. Again, the directions, that says place the cider spices and sugar in a pan. Warm to a very gentle simmer, do not boil. Maintain heat for 10 minutes, stirring to dissolve the sugar. Remove from heat and leave for up to 30 minutes for best results. Strain and serve. So there you go. Which is basically kind of what it's like, I suppose. But again, there's no mention of the whiskey. You can use other spirits if you want, but I think whiskey, and for my palate, seems to go the best, whereas cognac or brandy goes better with the mulled wine if you're going down that route. With this, you really have to, because you usually have a lower alcohol content. So you're not really getting that kind of alcohol vapor kind of sensation as part of the warming process. Because the whole point of this is to be a warm, comforting drink. And part of that comforting is that kind of cloak of alcohol. And unless you're going for kind of more extreme ciders, most ciders are around about the 5% to about 7% on average. There is ones below that. I mean, even this one, they're only 6.8%, so they are. And a medium dry, light sparkling cider, traditionally crafted with a single year's harvest of English bittersweet cider apples, matured and blended by Guy Lawrence. Know him well, actually. He's never at the front garden, so yes. Who the fuck is that? Anyway, to create a full-flavoured, traditionally crafted, refreshing cider, reflected all the qualities you'd expect from the West Country. Don't make no never mind. Well, read my puppet. There we go. Apparently, yes. The reason why I went for this, I want a vintage one because I want a bit of dryness. I don't want it overly dry, but I want a bit of dryness. And again, you don't want it overly sweet because you're adding sugar anyway. And if it's already sweet, then my view is dial back the sugar. Now, you're going to lose a bit of flavour if you're dialed back from the brown sugar because it adds its own kind of accent flavour that you're now going to kind of miss out on. And that accent flavour from brown sugar adds to the bit of kind of richness to it. And remember, cider doesn't have the body of red wine. So it needs something to help to kind of give that kind of bit of richness. And that's where the brown sugar comes in. So you've got to kind of look at it from that point of view. Whereas it's maybe better to go for a more drier, less sweet cider and what with the sugar. But again, it's up to you. If you go with sweet cider and the sugar at 5 tablespoons, then it's going to be quite sickly sweet. And then it's going to be like, do I really want to do this? You know, that type of scenario. So you've got to be a wee bit kind of sensible. And yeah, and of course I've got some dried fruit there again, and it's the same as I did with the last time, although I've chucked in the ends, so it's 2 slices of each, but the ends were there of the lemon and the orange. And if you're looking for the orange, it's just a light, easy peeler oranges. It's the ones that come out round about this time of year before you start getting, you know, the kind of tangerines like the satsumas and the clementines. So they're just kind of easy peeler little oranges. And they're nice and kind of sweet and not too pithy and things like that, so it's not too bad. Also, I thought I'd maybe mention this. If you are going to be doing this, better to buy lemons without any wax on them. If you can't, then basically give them a scrub under warm water, you know, to get the wax off, because again, you don't want the kind of wax kind of melting off in the pot and leaving a kind of nice waxy residue, because that's just too nice for us to enjoy, you know. We really shouldn't be getting all these little kind of extras, you know. But anyway, again, I've got everything this time. Got my thermometer, got my little silicone spatula. And it's self-explanatory. It's a ladle. And I've even remembered my glass. I mean, it's unbelievable. There's probably something I'm going to forget. I've got my warm underwear. Don't worry, you're safe. Got trousers on. Anyway, right. Now the last time we went a bit mental with this one, so I've learned from my lesson. I'm only going to do it at 5, and I'm not going to put it on until I've actually got the liquid in the pot, because it was spitting and going bloody haywire the last time. But first of all, we need to measure out 1 litre of cider. So let's get this on. Right. Now again, also one of the tricks is it depends how fizzy this cider is. I don't know how carbonated it is, because again, you've got to try and kind of work it to try and get rid of some of the carbonation. You don't want it too gassy. Right, so what I want, this should give me 750 ml. So I obviously want 250 ml from the other one. And I've also gone for a bigger, smaller pot, so I get more. Well, that's actually 757 apparently. So I've gained. I'm slightly over. Marvellous. Right, let's get this wired in there. Oh, geez, there we go. Right. Now this is usually got a bit of a delay process. You stop and the damn thing carries on, you know, so you've got to watch some at 800 just now. We're up and out. Nine 936, 954, 980. Jesus, it bloody just shot up there. 986, 993. Just, you know, Jesus, there's no 997, 998. Seriously. God's sake. There we go, right on the button. And what I want to do is, again, it's the same rules. If it's not nice enough to drink, which quite a lot of ciders aren't, especially if you're going for the kind of mainstream piss waters. I mean, Jesus God, there's plenty of them going about, but it's the golden rule. If it's not good enough to drink on its own, it's not good enough to put into these type of kind of festive drinks either. So let's see what this tastes like. A bit of sweetness there. Not overly sweet. Not overly dry either. It's actually quite a nice kind of middle of the road. I actually quite like cider, but the problem is I can't really drink it, because if I drink too much of it, it gives me a hell of a heartburn. Really bad heartburn. It's almost like the apple equivalent of Stuart's cream of the barley. Because see, that whiskey, that was piss water. Seriously. Oh, I fucking hated that stuff. Johnny. See, honestly, there was a few times when somebody had offered me, you know, you want a whiskey? Aye. Well, there you go. Stuart's cream of the barley, and I just feel like taking the bottle, douncing it on them, and set the fuckers alight with it. You know what I mean? Fucking bastard. It's like turning around and say, do you like whiskey? Well, you're going to hate us because I've only got Stuart's cream of the barley, and that's absolute piss. You know, that's really what they're saying. But you want a whiskey? Ah, here we go. Stuart's cream of the barley. I'll have a cup of tea, or a glass of your own piss, if you don't mind, you know. But anyway, this doesn't do too bad. Aye. Oh, that's quite nice, actually. But anyway, what the fuck is that? 2001 now. Shut the shit, so that. Don't buy the AccuWeight bloody scales from fucking Amazon. Good bag of shite there. Oh, again, wonderful. Oh, wonderful reviews. Oh, they're so accurate. So easy to use. Marvellous, you know. Don't know how many times I've overshot it because I've stopped bloody pouring and the damn thing just keeps on going. You're thinking, I've stopped pouring. But because there's a lag with it. But basically you're adding it and it actually registering it. Bastards. Right, anyway, let's get this up here. Just oh shite, I nearly fucking dropped the bloody thing. Fucking lamp. Go and piss off. There you go. Jesus. Put the lamp there because it's supposed to look nice. Jesus. Nearly had bloody cider all over the bloody floor. Shit, right, anyway. I can get shot of that now. We don't need, no, shit, I will need that. Anyway, I'll put it over here then. Oh, fuck it, switch itself. That's another thing. Jesus, you just look at the bloody buttons and the bloody thing switches itself on. Share of bastards. Right, put you there then. Right, put you there. God. Now, normally you would be doing this in the kitchen, but the problem is I've got things kind of laid out so you can actually see what the hell's going on. Obviously, I'll pull this close up now. That's the feet on this, but it's not me that's making this noise, by the way. Well, maybe a little bit. You know. Whoa. It's not too gassy, this as well, which is quite good. Because it makes my life easier, because what you want to try and do is you have to stir it more when you're warming it up. Again, kind of golden rules is you don't really want to go that far over. You want to be below 70. Like I said before, ethanol, 78.37 is the actual boiling point of ethanol. You don't want to boil it off. There's not that much in there anyway, so you really don't want to use it. And then, of course, you'll be adding whiskey to kind of top it up. So the more alcohol you can keep in there, the less whiskey you have to add, or any other alcohol spread to kind of lift it up a bit. But this isn't so gassy, so it means it's a case I don't have to keep constantly stirring it to try and get rid of the majority of the carbonation, because if it's overly carbonated, like quite a lot of mainstream piss water ciders are, then you're going to have to try and keep agitating it to try and kind of release a lot of that so it kind of dies down a bit. But like I said, is you want to keep it below 70, 65, between 60 and 65 is the kind of safety kind of area. You can get closer to 70, but you really don't want to go above 70, because even then you'll start be losing, even just slightly above it, there'll be certain areas of alcohol within the actual drink that will heat up quicker than other areas, and yeah, you can it can be what's known as a vapor filter for getting rid of that alcohol, and you don't really want to lose it, because the whole point is you're making an alcoholic drink. So anyway, let's fire this up, and it should obviously make quite a bit of noise. What's wrong with this fucking thing? Is it not plugged in? Seriously. Don't tip. You share a bastards that you are. Right. Back in a minute. Share a fucks. How comes that nose plugged in? It isn't plugged in. Who the fuck unplugged it? Come here, you bandit there. No, don't you beep at me, you shit. I actually planned all this, and I was organised, and that says we're all planned. I don't have to keep going back and forward, and I didn't even have the bloody thing plugged in. Seriously, what an arse. Anyway, right, we want to go to 5. No. There we go. Jesus, the minute I've switched it on, straight up to 1300. Right, we're on that now. Jesus, that's gone all bubbly. Again, first thing you want to do is add your sugar. It's not so bad because we're actually working with the loose stuff anyway, so it's not as if it's in a tea bag, so it's not going to get a chance to burst anyway, because it's all going to be loose. But anyway, you might as well get it in there, and oh Jesus. Well, that's got a bit rid of some of the fizz anyway. Put that over there just now. Oh. Right. And you want to just kind of, as per usual, stir it and get all that sugar dissolved into the cider. And there we go. Another reason why I like using whiskey is because it's got a little bit more of a bitter edge to it. And again, it's another way of controlling some of the sweetness. If it's a little bit too sweet, you can add some of that. And at the end of the day, you're getting the bonus of extra alcohol, you know. Which, trust me, it's always a good thing at Christmas. And the reason why I'm doing these is I'm trying to feel more Christmassy. Because to be totally honest, I never really feel very festive, because a lot of times I spend Christmas by myself, which is fine. I don't have a problem with it. But the problem is when you're doing videos, you know, for Christmas, and you're doing kind of Christmas ales, and they're crap, and you're just like, seriously, that's just a disappointment. And I don't put up any Christmas decorations, because what's the point? I'm here myself. So I spend all that time to put them up, to look at them. And when I'm looking at them, I'm thinking, I'm going to have to bloody take them down and put them away again, you know. And it's just that, you know. So who am I doing it for? I'm doing it for me, who has the hassle of putting it up and the hassle of putting them away. And not really much pleasure in between with it. So I think, well, what's the point? So I'm a bit of the old kind of Scrooge and Bah Humbug kind of scenario. So yeah. So because I'm not doing it, I'm going to try and see if I can boost my festive mood. But instead of doing, well, here's a laugh. It says I wasn't going to be doing Christmas beers. But I've got a load of Christmas beers coming. So I have. But they're in cask. I've got 2 down there. I'm waiting for the third one. Full enough, the third one's actually coming from Buckcombs. And yeah, ordered it. And how many days later? Oh yeah, 5 days later, I get an email from the courier company saying, oh, we've got your parcel. Yeah. And then straight away, it's delayed. So, are they in cahoots? Buckcomb and DHL, because between the two of them, they seem to be absolutely bloody useless. And I will turn around and, as part of the review, everywhere else I can order and get it, no problem at all. But with Buckcomb, they're a nightmare in getting the actual beer out. And let's be totally honest, they use this e-commerce side of DHL, which is an absolute bloody nightmare. They really are. Most other breweries use DPD, which I'll be totally honest, are absolutely spot on. DHL actually makes every and Euro look good and competent. So there you go. Right, this is doing not too bad. It's heating up just nicely. All their sugar has been dissolved. Let's just the temperature check. There we are. Don't worry. Cat's temperature's alright. It's not running a temperature, which is good to know. Right, we're at 36 just now. No, we're at 34. 35. 42. What the fuck? Back to 36 again. It's going between 42 and 36. And I have nothing but confidence in my apparatus. Seriously, for fuck's sake. Between this, that, and that, I'm surprised it's not a bloody disaster. Right, I'm at 43 just now, so let's get some spices in this. Oh, there we go. I thought I might have to get the neck and fuck it was bad stuff. Anyway, oh, it smells nice. Oh, right, get in there, you shit. Oh, don't go there. Oh, fuck. But you're just being a shit now. Fuck it. Oh, for fuck. Just go in the bloody thing. Go on, you shirish. Why does it get stuck in the corner? Oh, Jesus. Right, anyway. And seeing as there's no ginger, I better add some ginger. Because it's one of the main flavours of it. Right. I will not add too much, but you're supposed to get a little bit of spice off it. Right, there we go. That's enough just now. We'll soon see where we are. Right, let's try and clear this place up, because it's turning into a bloody disaster here. Right, put that in the pocket. Oh, got me change. Anyway, oh, my spatula. There we go. That's what we're doing now. Alright. Oh. Well, it's all happening here. Look at that. Marvellous. Yeah, and just give it a wee kind of stir about. Try and get it all mixed together, all amalgamated. Right, let's get the fruit in there. It always tastes a little bit bland Now, one of the things I always notice is mulled cider always tastes a little bit bland until you get the citrus in there. And of course, obviously it boosts again when you get the whiskey in there. So it's actually looking very Christmassy. So as I always say about with Christmas, a lot of the drink and a lot of the food and everything else always looks a bit kind of strange looking. And it's very normal to have floaty bits in kind of festive fare and things like that. So how are we getting on with temperature wise? I've switched the bloody thing on. Switch on, you'd get 43. There we go. We're getting there. We're getting there. And tell a lie, it's 51. 45. 53. 46. Absolutely fucking useless. 54. It really is. It's absolutely effing useless. You know? No wonder it's here. 48 now. 55. And these pots are actually quite good. There's a good base on them and there's a good distribution of heat, so I don't know. It must be this bloody thing. It's either this that's off its tits or this is off its tits. One of the two. Jesus God, seriously, am I too much? Let's see where the heat is. Probably by my hand here. Right, it's kind of there, isn't it? Right, that's it, because none of that's got heat on it. No. So that's where we need to be, right? That's the sweet spot. The fingerprints are going for a start, anyway. Seriously. I need to start buying shite from Amazon. It's unbelievable, seriously. You know, I'm a sucker for these reviews. Listen to you, oh, it's marvellous. Oh, it's life changed, by the way. Oh, I bought it off my granny, and even she can work it. She's thick as shit. Anyway. Oh, it's lasted for years, by the way. It only came out last month, but I've had it for years, you know, and it's never failed me. So what I do, I buy it, and then it turns out to be a bloody disaster. Right, well, we're at cramp in my leg now. Jesus. 60 now, we're at 6, no, we're at 54 now. Eh? At 61 in the top. What are we at the top? 57, 56, 55, 61. And that's at the top. What is the point? Seriously, this bloody thing's off its tits. So it is. Picking up the wrong thing. That's what she said. So yeah. So the heat's not kind of being recorded particularly accurately throughout the whole. Getting there now. Trying to get some flavours. What are we at now? 45, 47, 49, 53, 56, 63. Right, I'm going to turn that off just now. 64, 60. What? And just let it kind of sit there just for the ambient heat, the residual heat as they call it, coming from the actual top there. And we'll see what that takes us. So I might have to add a little bit more ground spice and a little bit kind of ground cinnamon because it's quite light actually. There seems to be a lot in this, but for some strange reason it's not really releasing the flavours like the mulled wine one from Swartz. So there you go. So I suppose it's a kind of a product review. I'll hold it up just in case. So that's what I got. Again, just for ease. Like I said in the last video, you can buy these spices individually, but one of the major problems is unless you've got another outlet to utilise them in, I mean, you're buying a lot. I mean, even these, if you're buying them like this, well, each one of these is about £1, so you're £3 already. And that's just 3 of them. If you're getting all the kind of other ones required, like nutmeg and things like that, you're looking at all these and you're thinking, seriously? And you're not going to be using that much of it. And then you've got all this left over. And if you haven't got another outlet to use them in, then they're just going to sit in the cupboard and just take up space and eventually just going bad, you know, that type of thing. But yeah, it is what it is. Let's see what this is like now. What I will do is, you want to have a look at it? Give you a wee swatch. Or a wee swatch. I'll have a wee sip first before I'll give you a wee swatch. It's getting better now. It's getting better. Want a swatch? There you go. You had a wee swatch. And as you can see, what I was saying in the last video, it's a lot easier than the little kind of, it's like kind of little spice bag acting like a bit like a tea bag. Because again, you don't have to strain it. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff. And it keeps it nicely under the surface. One of the big problems is having it loose. That a lot of the stuff's just floating about. And yeah. And some of these are actually quite whole. It's actually in there because some of them are quite whole. Right. Must be ground close because I can't see. Oh, wait a minute. That might be that. Yeah. So yeah, so it's whole cloves. Oh no, wait a minute, there's the cloves there. So that must be the nutmeg then. Can't be. Well, star anise is easy enough, so I don't know. I presume they've got to be the nutmeg. Yeah. What does it taste of like now? It's getting there. Again, it's still quite subtle. That's another problem. Well, let's have a look at the temperature. It's getting there. It's not too sweet, which is good. Which is nice. Let's see where we're at now. $55, $57, $58, $59, $60. Yeah, we're kind of around about the 60 mark just now, so it's just sitting there kind of steeping away at 60. I'll switch it back on in a little minute, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of extra je ne sais quoi. Well, it's not je ne sais quoi actually, it's basically ground cinnamon and allspice. And I'll maybe add a little bit more of the, where's that go? I'll put you in there. And a little bit more of the ground ginger. Right, anyway, let's see what this ground mixed spice. Oh, that's well, it smells quite nice. So give it a little bit more extra. Right, that's not so bad. Again, I'm just doing it to taste, and everybody's slightly different, so that's why I'm not telling you. Cinnamon, although, will go a wee bit kind of lighter on the cinnamon. And with the ground ginger, it's supposed to give it a little kind of spice. But, ow, big bloody dog. I just pinched myself in that. I was bloody sore. Just casually just nipped me as I shut the bloody thing. Good shit. Anyway. But yeah, go careful in the cinnamon, because the cinnamon can be really quite overpowering and overbearing. So again, obviously, same with your ground ginger, but the ground ginger is supposed to give that little kind of bit of spice, you know, a bit like kind of a ginger loaf. That's getting there now, so that's got a bit of ooh la la to it, you know. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to put it back on again. But don't do that. Straight away, boom, back on. 1300. Ha! No. We'll give this a wee agitation. And what I'll do is I'll get it up to about 65, and then I'm going to basically leave it and let it sit and stand for maybe 20-30 minutes, and then we'll come back and we'll give it a taste, and we'll maybe add some whiskey to it as well. What I will do is, obviously the temperature will have gone down, so I will give it a little bit of a warming up again. Again, over 50 degrees, closer to 60, just to kind of warm it up again. And then I will add some whiskey to it, and then we'll see what it's like and give it a proper taste. And hopefully it'll be drinkable. So, I will see you in a little moment. Right, it's managed to be infusing for 30 minutes. So what I'm going to do is, I'm now going to heat it up. I'm going to add 2 shots of whiskey and see what it's like. And depending on how it tastes, well, depending on whether I leave it at that or do I feel I have to add some more. So let's get it switched on and see where we are. Now I'm just going to be heating up to around about 60 degrees. That's all, just to kind of get the temperature back in it. And we see where we are. We're sitting about, what are we sitting at just now? We're sitting roughly about 40 degrees, so we're just going to quickly ramp it up and get the whiskey in it. And what can I use? I'll use that to put the whiskey in. Because I'm sitting there thinking I didn't bring a separate one, but at the end of the day it's only had the citrus in it. So it's not so bad. But yeah. About 43 just now. The thing is, what I noticed is I've actually was out of the room. So I've left it kind of infusing and just kind of steeping there with the spices and the fruit in there for 30 minutes. And when I came back in, the whole room was smelling of kind of Christmas and spice. So it's going to make a nice little air freshener as well. But no, it just was a nice smell, and it was giving you nice kind of Christmas and festive vibes, which is the whole point of this. Also, it took me back. One of the things when I was a kid I used to enjoy making with my mum was mince pies and things like that. And my sisters used to get involved at kind of different times as well. You know, obviously my sisters are older than me, so I kind of came in at the kind of tail end and was left kind of doing it myself with my mum after they all kind of left and went in search of boyfriends. I mean, further education. But anyway, 50, what? It's all over the place again, this bloody thing. Yeah, so to cut a long story short, I used to find it very, very Christmassy. It was a great kind of build-up. When my mum started kind of baking, you knew it was getting close to the kind of festive period and things like that, and doing all the mince pies and things. I used to love helping out doing that. But just helped with the anticipation and the build-up. Obviously, it's different nowadays, but I think I'm more proactive of wanting to kind of make things that are more festive and, you know, than put up decorations. Because I find the decorations are on the kind of more of the commercial side, you know, the lights and all this type of stuff, and it's not really for me. I prefer, you know, the kind of more traditional foods and kind of festive fare, whether it's drinks or cakes, or mince pies, or just, you know, other things associated it, you know, like chewing a ham or something like that. All these types of things, just, you know, to me, that's more worthwhile. But hey, everybody's different, apparently, allegedly. So there we are, we're roughly about 60, are we about 60 now, are we? Well, 1 minute it's saying 54, 53, next minute it's saying 60. Right, where are we at now? 54 there, 54 there, 62 there. So yeah, this seems to be all over the place. So it is. Yeah, I think that will do it. Power it off. So we will. And better measure out some whiskey then, eh? In fact, maybe I'll do it in a glass. That's the easiest way. So, as I've said before, if it's not good enough to drink on its own, it's not good enough to go inside. The pot. Oh, well, that would put hairs on a nun's tits. Oh, so it would. Anyway, right. I want 50. 50G. That's 45, 46. See this bloody thing? 50, right on the bang. There you go. That's marvellous. Right. Now let's get this stirred in. It looks like a lot, but remember you're adding 50 millilitres to a litre. And there's maybe a little bit of evaporation, but not that much. So let's get it in and see where we're at. Back to zero again. There you go. Right, let's see what it's tasting like now. Lovely. No, it caught me in the back of the throat there. It sneaked up on me. So I had to go down before I was ready. It's nice. Not quite got the huggability, as I say, so I might need a little bit more. So I'm going to give it another 25. That's 13, I might as well go to 50, fuck it. 43. 45. 49. That's right on the button again. Right. Let's put this in. Again, it's only a tenth. I mean, there's basically companies out there that are doing this commercially, and they'll charge you, you know, £3 or £4 to put a shot in, actually in the glass. So that's a different story, but let's see what this is like now. So try to get any kind of... No. Oh yeah. That's a daddy. Right, let's get some of this poured and see what it's like. That's what we want. Get this out of the way. stupid bloody thing. Right, switch off. Done it right. Okay, right, let's see what we can do. Hopefully this will screen. Hopefully. No, I don't want shit. Can I get away from this shit actually? Anyway. Alright. Probably not too bad. Obviously, normally you would screed it completely, but I'm just obviously, for convenience for the video, is just to quickly do it this way, and then I think that's enough just now. So chuck you back in there, chuck you back in there, and there you go. Here's your mulled cider. Smell wise, you can still smell cider, and yeah, you're smelling cinnamon, you're smelling star anise, maybe a little bit of nutmeg, and again you're getting the ground ginger. Not really getting the citrus, but you are picking up quite a few of the spices, just because they've got quite kind of strong identifiable aromas. That's really what it is. So let's see what it tastes like. It's nice. Oh, it is actually really nice. Yeah, that's right on the button again. And it's one of the things is you do need the alcohol, the additional alcohol, just to help kind of give you that warming factor. That just unfortunately, because the cider is a lower alcohol drink, it just doesn't really have the warming factor. But I think the whiskey goes well with it, because the whiskey just helps to kind of dial back any excess sweetness. But also what it does, it also adds that little extra body to it. And overall, it does actually make it, yeah, I'm just picking up the vapours there when you're drinking it. You just, you are getting the kind of alcohol vapours. No, maybe not as much as you would get in the wine, but you are picking up some of the alcohol vapours around about the lung region, which is that kind of comforting, warm hug kind of effect. But like I said, not too sweet. You're picking up the apples near the back end. You're picking up the spices and the citrus at the front of the mouth. Mid-tongue, that's when you're starting to pick up the kind of cider edge. So you are. And at the back end of the mid-tongue, that's where you start to, the sweetness starts to come through. You're getting a little bit of sweetness, but it starts to kind of come through in a nice controlled manner, just at the back of the mouth, basically, just as it's moving from the back of the mid-tongue onto the back of the mouth in the aftertaste. And you're just picking on that sweetness, but you're also just getting little light tones of whiskey there as well. And then what you're doing is, as it moves to the back of the mouth, that's when you're starting to get the kind of alcohol vapour, just right at the back end. Overall, it's actually very, very nice. Would I say this is any good? It's okay. One, I think it would be better if it was in a bag that could be steeped, a bit like a tea bag, so that they weren't all sitting loose, because it's a bit of a pain, that, let's be totally honest. It's an extra step that you wouldn't have to do if it was in a bag. And secondly, if it was in a bag that could be steeped actually in the pot, then the benefit of that is it tends to kind of sit below the surface. Whereas all this is kind of like, because it's floating, half of it is just slightly above the surface. So it's not 100% submerged. And I think obviously that helps with the infusion process. The more of it's actually submerged. And also, strange why it doesn't have ground ginger. I mean, it needs the ground ginger. The ginger is the kind of connecting part. Ginger goes well with apples, and it's like the kind of the catalyst. It's like the connecting point between the other spices. You know, if not, then the spices kind of tend to feel kind of slightly separate from the apple flavour. But with having the ginger there, it helps to connect it, and also helps to dial back the cinnamon. I mean, obviously cinnamon goes well with apples and things like that, but cinnamon's quite strong, and you don't want it to kind of just taste of cinnamon, because one of the things is cinnamon can kind of overpower, and the ginger just helps to just kind of die that down a bit and just make more of a connection, but also adds a little bit of kind of warmth to the drink as well, which is just unfortunately doesn't have that. So it is, but so I don't know. I mean, it's okay, but it could be improved. And I think that's one of the things that helps with the flavour, is having that ground. But I also had to kind of boost it with had to boost the ground spice and the ground cinnamon anyway. Which, I'll be totally honest, if I didn't, it'd be kind of slightly lacking in flavour. This has just got a nice level of flavour. I think it'd be a bit weak and watery if it were just relying on that alone. But yeah, overall, it's actually really nice. That means I've got another pot to drink. Although, I've got some things to do, so it won't be like the same as the mulled wine, because when I made the mulled wine, I thought I'll start kind of editing the video and things like that and doing bits and bobs. And I just kept filling my glass from the pot, to the point is that by the time I'd finished the video, it took me just about an hour to kind of do it. That was it. I went to go back to the pot. I thought, right, I'll wait till I finished doing the last bit of the editing. I'll go back and I'll fill my glass up again. I went back to the pot. It was empty. Jesus, where did I empty that? So in less than an hour, I drank the pot. Not my plan, but it was just going down really nice. So there you go. Proof of the pudding. But I will be enjoying this tonight, and I will strain it out. And I'm picking up the ginger there. It's just really nice. And it's just adding that nice bit of heat, level of kind of warmth to the drink. So yeah, I'll put the recipe down below. Give it a go. It's actually quite enjoyable. I would say the vintage cider is just a nice balance there. Now, I'm just saying it because I'm not promoting Weston's cider, but that cider, so if you've ever tasted that cider, if there's other ciders kind of similar, kind of to the level of sweetness and dryness, that kind of mid-balance, then that's really what you want. You don't want it too sweet or too dry. You want it kind of mid, with a bit of dryness, but a bit of sweetness, but kind of more middle of the road. And yeah, give it a try, and I'm sure you would really enjoy it, because I am. Probably have a hell of a heartburn tomorrow or tonight when I'm sleeping, but such is life. Anyway, thanks for watching. Cheers. Bye for now.